To the parents, thank you for being there for your children. Thank you for being here in support, looking quite pleased and quite proud. And of course, to our graduates, 157, I understand. Congratulations. And I hope whatever I have to say will have some impact on you moving forward. Thank you. Together with God, we shall rise. Or together with God, we rise. And when I was pondering this whole thing, I started to realize how difficult the English language is. I've always wondered, why is the English language so difficult? Maybe it's because it's the Queen's English. And in this case, the Queen's is not the Queen's school, but it belonged to the Queen. And if it belonged to the Queen, she couldn't make everybody just jump up in it and get it so easy. So the Queen's English was difficult. And the word we actually is the plural of his or us and I. So we are, he is, she is, they are. So when I say he is, then we is something totally different. So when we look and we say that together we rise, then that is now saying there is a collective, a plural that must be defined. Because within it, we can be we, the graduates. We can be we, our family. And we can be we, this country. So when you speak to we isn't constant because it depends on the noun, the reference. We is something else. So together we rise is important that we define that there are multiple ways and therefore multiple duties to rise. And that is the whole conversation that I want to have today as to how we will rise. Now, it is important that we ask ourselves a very important question very few people ask. What type of country do we want? See, most people know what kind of house they want, but very few extend it to what kind of country. So what kind of country you want? I don't know. What kind of house you want? 5-bedroom, must have a place for the dog at the back, a place for the little cat at the front. It must stay up in a jack sail, and it must have a lawn and a pool. What kind of country you want? I don't know. But the type of house you have is highly impacted by the type of country that you have. I tell people that in Jamaica, because we have developed a thieving country, you have to have grill. And so my house have $3 million worth of grill and no pool. When time had me, I feel look through my grill, wishing that I spent that money on pool. But with what we have as a country, the investment and the design, now your house design, the grill is a part of that design. The type of house you have is going to be dependent on the type of country that you have. So it's a very important question to ask when we say we rise, because how the family rise, how the group rise, how the friends rise is going to be dependent on how the country rise. And so therefore, you must answer that question, what type of country do you want? Once you answer the question, what kind of country you want, then automatically your next question is, what is my role in developing that type of country? Because within the we is the me. Because the we becomes you and I. So the English gone again because it can't say you and me. But it's the me. So therefore, we have to look at that, therefore, what type of country do you want and what is your role in that country? It is easy to define what is your role because the ultimate state of human existence is interdependence. Interdependence means that I can depend on you and you can depend on me. So the ultimate state of human existence, of human association, is the way that you can depend on me and I can depend on you. It is that lack of the we, the codependence, the interdependence, that causes for everybody to want to eat a food, but nobody wants to buy the grocery. It's that lack of we that causes for that independence, interdependence, that them want to borrow every day, but they never can lend. You ever have a friend who beg a piece of your patty every single time, and one day you left your money, them don't have no patty? Everybody have a hungry. You ever have some people who wait till they eat out the whole of the rice, and when the chicken left, at them time, they never come and say, you can't give me a piece of the chicken. And the one day when you now not chicken, them don't have rice. It is the lack of interdependence. But interdependence, which is the ultimate state, actually come through phases to get to interdependence, where the first phase is dependence, the second phase is independence, and the third phase is interdependence. I'm going to explain. No, dependence is like when you're just born and you have to depend on somebody for bathe you, for feed you, for everything. Dependence is the person who don't study and just want to come ask you pure question. Dependence is the person who don't good in no subject, but you good in maths and them can't help you with science. That is dependence. Each of us went through a phase of dependence. That's why when the valedictorian said, our first time we never even know where to go. You were dependent sometimes. Somebody tell you sometimes you just watch a person and follow them around. When COVID came, you had to depend on the teachers to facilitate and your parents to get the internet. You're dependent. You're now in the state or the phase of independence, because there is no interdependence if there aren't two independent people. If within the we, more than one person isn't independent, then there can be no interdependence. You see, this mic that is in this thing, but if I take it out, this mic is dependent on me to resist gravity. If I bump my toe, God forbid, this mic can't stop me from drop. However, the podium is independent of me. And if I bump it to I won't laugh and me not understand. Me not feel I look away and me not get up and explain. I don't know why when people drop them explain, but I would explain. But this podium is independent. So if me I drop, this podium can play a role, not true. It can now act as a stabilizer because it isn't dependent on me. At this age, you're in your phase of becoming independent. And you must recognize what is that independence going to look like and how you're going to achieve that independence. Because if you remain dependent, then together we will not rise. If you remain dependent, then there will be no together. You're going to see some of your friends them arise and you not rise. You know what's one of the worst things I could imagine happen to me? Like when I got to chance to win, as we do, as a KC man. And I got the chance. I see some of the people who used to ramp with me, eat with me. They can't even afford to come in. Sometimes I say, how him feel? I wouldn't want that feeling. Because we were here together. And some rise. And some don't rise. But understand that in your phase of independence, if you don't shift from transition from dependent to independent, then you will have no value, no role in the together, because no one can depend on you. Are you understand? It don't mean that there will not be phases of dependence. It don't mean that there will not be moments of dependence. But if your modus operandi is not to be able to stand on your own, then you have no value to the together. So now, as a young person in Jamaica, as a graduate of the Queen's School, as a female, there are certain realities that you must understand, accept, and recognize that this is how I will gain my independence. You see, one of the independence is through education. I don't understand, you're facing a difficult time. Because when you wanted to be educated in my time, I graduated high school, sixth form, 1998. Someone never born 1998. But if you wanted education, you were a star. The community celebrate you. If you're bright, people rate you. I can't understand now that fully done is going to, so you're swimming upstream if you want to be educated. You're swimming upstream. But then if knowledge is power and education is the access to knowledge, then education is power. Because fully done mean I am not aware of what to do in anything. If you ask me about science, me fully done in science. But if you ask me about maths, me about fully done again. You must therefore recognize that the ability to learn, which you have, the capacity to learn, which you have, no, you never born to talk. You learn to talk. No, you never born to walk. You learn to walk. So how you could have so bright when you're 9 months and then dunce when you're 19? You learn something bossy like talking at 9 months, and you grow it out and can't learn something simple like maths when you're 19. No, maths is hard because you don't take everything hard till you know. You go back to what they had now in 7th grade. I remember when I passed 10 the first time. 10. Used to lick your chest. Them little youngins. Them don't know about lick chest. Them fold off calculator. When I was going to school, and you count to 10 and your mother say you're bright. When teacher reach 11, you say, what kind of sorcery is this? Because your finger them finish. And then you lick your chest. 10, 11, 12, 30. No, that is simple, but there was a time when my lack of know-how, when my dependence on the information from somebody else caused for me not to understand. Later, quadratic equation became difficult. But then lick chest was of no moment. If you put yourself, you're going to find quadratic equation become easy and then simultaneous become difficult. Because everything that moves one step further. But can you imagine how difficult it is for one to eat and can't buy food? Can you imagine how difficult it is for can't pay rent? Can you imagine how difficult it is for can't find a job? So all that difficult looks very easy. When I see a man have to beg, I have some people who are older than me and call me father. Belittle himself to beg. It must be different. Now you also must understand that there are some prejudices in the world against your gender, which takes away some of the non-education alternatives that exist for some other people. The ladies that play cricket don't make the money where Chris Gayle make. It's unfortunate but true. The ladies who play football don't make the money where Messi make. It's unfortunate but true. I've seen more and more women saying that they're in the gang, but I've never seen none as they done. So those opportunities don't exist to you within the circumstances that exist. But you also, in the family we, must recognize that your independence become more important because some of the family we, the opposite, the male, is kind of popped down in Jamaica. 47% of our families have a single parent. I don't wish that on any of you, that you don't have a man that is worthy. But if the mathematics is correct, 1 in every 2 will have that circumstance. You must prepare in your independence for the reality. In your phase of independence. When I was in my phase of independence, my father died. And I recognized I must prepare for the reality. That I might not have 2 people there for me. You must prepare in your reality, because when I look at the universities, 83% women, and then when I look at who running the country, is 99% men. Now, as a man, I say, okay, I have a blind. But as a woman, to my daughter, to my sisters, to my nieces, I'm saying to them, understand the circumstance, the environment, and in your phase of independence, realize that you cannot not prepare for the circumstances. Within the circumstance, the world is changing. You must prepare in your independence because machines are replacing human beings. That wasn't my reality. I remember the first time I see a computer, I was about 18 or 19, that I physically see it and go on it and type. When I went to university, we used to write with the pen our project. And one of the ways to make sure you get enough if you don't know nothing is to write bad. When teacher read that, she said, well, it look like him. I said something like this. It was right bad. Now you have spell check and all of that. And that is great, but it creates challenges as well. I remember when we had to go to library every Saturday, Tom Red come library. And when you find the book, somebody tear out the page where you look for. They don't know these things. Now everybody can go up on Google. Now you can have chat GPT. None of those things were big man when those things came in. Those things are great, but they present challenges. I also remember when I had to go up on top of my roof, and then I shout down to my brother, my father, and he said, oh, look, and I turn in the antenna. And then he said, Dessa, but by the time the Dessa reach your ears, you're gone too far, and you have to come back. Now you have a TV with picture in picture. where you can watch 2 things one time. That's good, but it presents challenges. But all of those things that I am afraid of because I am in my state of done learning, you should be excited by because you're in a state of new learning. You see the things that I have to relearn, you just learn. Chat GPT, that is to me, that is risking how I knew it. That is to you how it is. All this technology, that is risking how I knew it. But that is to you how it is. But recognize that there was a time where 50 people used to go and mix cement to do a house, and now it's one person with a premix truck. 40 people said, I'm going to chop bushes, one man with a weed whacker. I tell you, the last time I was here, I went to the United States, nobody checked me in. You go to a little booth and check in yourself, pick your seat. And when I went to Walmart, there was no cashier. Take up all heap of things I never wanted. Say, I'm free, I'm going to get nothing. You cash out yourself. So understand that in your state of your phase of independence, there are certain realities that is causing for you to must take up advantage, to must invest, to must recognize that those who do more work in school do less work after school and get more pay. And those who do less work in school do more work after school and get less pay. Your project for the summer is to visit a construction site. The man mixing the cement getting 2,000. The man showing when to carry it getting 2 million. Now can you imagine how hard cement mixing is? But the man where mix, he didn't do much in school. The person where mix said that when they're in school, they hear them now, I will be an influencer. I hear the ladies nowadays, it's my soft life era. Soft life is for those who can afford soft life. You have to put in hard work to get soft life. So there's going to be some who aspire to be bold, aspire to be Shelley and never do a part together. Aspire for soft life and put in no hard work. And therefore, in their state of independence, they did not become independent. That phase passed them, and so they couldn't move to phase 3 of interdependence. You don't think Shelley have to well fast for the 4x1 makes sense? Imagine if I was running for Jamaica. No matter how bold and fast, when I get that back, it's dead last week because I can't run nobody right now. So you know, I have to look into this thing and see that there is no success without sacrifice. The internet is telling you these lies. The people who don't want you to make it is telling you these lies. The people who granny never teach them that the heights of great women reached and kept were not attained by last night flight. You think even those on the internet don't put great effort in making them video and editing and learning and marketing and understanding business? The heights of great men reach. All people don't waste word. They knew some would reach, but not keep. They knew someone who said, oh, sexy, they would reach, but not keep. They knew someone who said, oh, my boyfriend have money, she will reach, but not keep. So therefore, what is the sense that you reach at 19 but not keep at 24? The person who is a doctor at 24 never start at 23. In her phase of independence, she said to herself, I will reach and keep. So the older people said that you to reach and keep, it will not be sudden flight. Because there is absolutely no success without sacrifice. When I was studying, my friends used to call me Sissy. Yeah, Sissy, you can't ever come out. Sometimes I drop asleep, mouth water, make 23 pages, return on 24. My uncle used to come out, you have to do a part together. You know, the 2 o'clock bells, to say, yeah, wake up. That's how I sleep in a light. Up to today, I sleep in a light. Because the lack of light, your uncle knows say, go on your bed. Ransford Bram is my uncle in a JLP Senator, Ransford Bram. So I lack of the light. Uncle Granny come out. Yet not on a bedtime yet. So I just start sleeping at the light, then say, all right, I say, yeah, move. But the end of the day, there was great effort. My eye them used to swell up, water. There was great effort. But no, teach for 4 hours and make how much money? No, I took my girlfriend, I go to Disney World for her birthday. No, me go to England and watch Usain Bolt run live. Live with me 2 years and then put out on the internet. Me a shell down London, get in a big trouble, the whole Jamaica say, boy, I walk on like that. I saw it live. I went to Australia for 3 months. That much better than, what they call it, YouTube. That much better than TikTok. That much better than viral dance. Because I invested in the time of phase of independence. You must also recognize that there's a difference between failure and failing. Too much of us feel that if we are failing, we're failures. That's not true. That is grammatically incorrect. Failing means that the race don't done. Failure means that it has ended. The only time it has ended is if you stop. Or if you're dead. And if you're dead, something stop you. But the only time your failure is when something stop you. You are something else. Listen, I have failed so many times. I can tell you something. The first business I start, it was called yard travel. I said, I'm going to get rooms from hotel and sell it back on a Thursday, and people are going to go on it cheap. Spend money, fail. I do a next one with name Crazy Wears. So I'm going to sell t-shirt. I walk up and down with a scandal bag of t-shirt and try to sell people. Nobody don't want a t-shirt to buy. It failed. I put on a party, doubles 2 to 2. The government said the party must lock off 2 o'clock. We said, all right, we're going to start 2 o'clock in the day, and we're going to done 2 o'clock in the night. At the baddest party, this is going to be real fall. Lose nearly $3 million. And I kept failing. And not only fail, I failed on TV. If you think failing hard, wait till you fail on TV. When you lay down in your bed and them say, okay, the election is finished, Damion Crawford never will. Like, what? What a recall, boy, justice. You hide from people for a good 3 months. Anybody will laugh, you think of you. All your family will laugh, you say, what? I failed on TV. But I recognize that that is failing. Look how much time I see a team under 5-2 come back and win 6-5. It is to now recalibrate, reassess, re-engage and say to yourself that she must flourish if she is going to contribute to Together We Rise. You go to university, something's going to be hard. Some subjects going to be difficult. But if you just kiss your teeth, then you don't realize that you must flourish. That you must flourish in your phase of independence so that you can become independent. You must realize that unless there is some tragedy, you live till 80. Why would you enjoy 17 to 22 and suffer 22 to 80? What sense, mathematically, could it be that you had the greatest soft life when you were able to work hard and then have a hard life when you're incapable to work hard, when you can't buy medicine? I finally said to you, my friends, before I speak quickly to your parents, you don't think you deserve to go to the doctor if you're sick. You don't think you deserve to eat if you're hungry. You don't think you deserve to have a house that provides privacy so that you now have to bawl in front of everybody if you feel like bawl. Then if you think you deserve, why would you rob yourself of what you deserve? You have to go to the police station and report yourself for robbing yourself. You have to now go to the court with 2 lawyers, one for the plaintiff and one for the defendant. And you have to pay both lawyers because you robbed yourself. Maybe your mother don't give away deserve. Maybe your father don't give away deserve. Maybe our teacher, maybe principal, I doubt it, but maybe. Maybe queens don't give away deserve. But why would you not give yourself in your phase of independence what you deserve? The final thing to the parents. Every time I watch National Geographic, I realize that the lion teach the cub how to hunt. At the same time, the zebra better teach him pick me how to shift. If the lion don't teach his cub how to hunt, gonna dead for hungry. And if the zebra don't teach him pick me how to shift, the lion will eat him. You must give them the tools necessary to survive in the world that is changing. And that means you're not a friend. You're definitely not a foe. But you're a parent with the duty to make sure your child is better than you. I pray I pray that together with God, you will flourish and we will rise. Good afternoon, ladies.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.